You believe she's yours because she tells you she loves you, because she cooks for you, because she puts your photo with hearts and filters, because she cried once in your arms and said, "I could never lose you." But here's the thing that will slap you sober. She's not yours. It's just your turn. And the second you forget that, the second you believe her body, her attention, her loyalty are yours, you begin building your masculinity on sand. Because one day she will change. She will drift. She will stop laughing at your jokes. She'll pull away without saying why, and it'll feel like betrayal. But it isn't betrayal, it's biology. And if you don't understand this one brutal truth, you'll be crushed by something that was never promised to you in the first place. In this video, I'm going to rip the illusion wide open and reveal to you what nobody ever has the courage to say about woman nature, ownership, and the truth of masculine detachment. Also, this is just one trick, and I've explained 70 plus more in my ebook. Don't forget to check out, link in the description. You ready? Good, let's get going. 1. She owns the moment, not you. You think she belongs to you because she sleeps in your bed, because she whispers your name, because she puts you on her story, because she says you are her man. But let me tell you something that will hurt now and protect you later. She doesn't belong to you. She belongs to the moment you stand for. It's not about your name or your vows or your good heart. It's about the energy you carry in this moment, because a woman's fidelity is not chiseled in stone. It's colored in wet ink. It smudges, it changes, and sometimes it erases overnight. See, female desire isn't founded on logic. It's not held by responsibility. It's bound to emotion, and emotions are fleeting. One week you're her sanctuary. The next you're a reminder of what she's outgrown. One month you're the guy she can't get out of her head. The next you're background noise in her DMs. Why? Because she was never yours. You were simply her latest thing, her emotional drug, her fantasy until the feeling changed. Most men don't see it coming because they mix intensity with forever. They think her moans signify permanence. They think her tears equal dedication. They believe her love today promises tomorrow, but it doesn't. Because when the time changes, when you cease to embody the energy she hungers for, when your enigma wears off, when the excitement becomes habit, she disengages. Not because she is a monster, but because that's how her biology safeguards her from becoming stagnant. She remains with the man who is good. She remains with the man who remains a part of her present emotional landscape. And the reality most men ignore: you're not rivaling other men. You're rivaling her changing desires. That's why it feels like she changed, because she did. The first time she saw you, you were compatible with her needs. But she's not the same woman anymore. And if you haven't evolved with her, she's gone. Mentally first, then emotionally, then physically. You're left holding on to the memory of a woman who only lived for that version of you. That's why breakups feel like death, because you're not merely mourning her. You're mourning the man you were when she desired you. And that's the brutal, unspoken reality. You never owned her. You briefly met her energy. When that harmony dissolved, so did the attachment. So what do? You cease attempting to own. You cease grasping. You cease needing forever. You become the present. You embody the kind of man who is always becoming. So her craving has to continue pursuing you rather than taking your place. Because if you believe she belongs to you, you've already lost her. By the way, there's something I shouldn't be sharing, but I am. It's a free ebook titled The Female Mind Control Handbook. Within are the forbidden psychological triggers that get women to crave, obsess, and even pursue you. It's unfiltered, it's authentic, and it's something she'd never want you to see. Get it now. Link in the description and pinned comment before it gets lost. 2. You were never her sole choice, just her preferred diversion. Let this sink in. You were not her sole option. You were the most thrilling choice at the time. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good. Because the sooner you face this fact, the sooner you'll stop dwelling in delusion and begin living in power. This is what you need to know. Any woman, no matter how faithful she appears, has options, seen or unseen, straight or circuitous, proven or on hold. She has orbiters, fans, colleagues, exes waiting in the wings, just friends who'd bet everything on one green light. And no matter how many times she repeats, "You're the only one I want," you have to keep this in mind. She's saying that when you're hot, when you're master of your energy, when you're still a challenge. But the instant you lose that, someone else takes center stage. Because women don't change interest like a light. They do it quietly, slowly, strategically. She texts slower at first. She's busy more frequently. The conversations seem colder, but you can't put your finger on why. Then she begins talking about needing space, being about herself, not feeling connected. But here's the hook. She's already emotionally invested in someone else. Perhaps not physically yet, but emotionally, she's slipping away from you and moving towards the next emotional high. The guy who flirts just enough, the one who makes her feel mysterious again, the man who isn't always around, the one who makes her question her worth. That's who becomes the new favorite distraction, because women pursue emotion, not reason. And when the feelings with you subside, they intensify somewhere else. And you're left questioning what transpired when you were swapped out, what you did wrong. The reality is simple. You forgot she had choices, and you ceased being the best one. You got comfortable. You got predictable. You gave her all your time, your energy, your presence without saving any for yourself. And that energy pushed her away because it told her, "You're all I have. Without you, I'm nothing." But the man who becomes everything outside of her, the man who owns his time, guards his mystery, and never makes her the axis of his universe, that's the man she can't forget, even when she's with someone else. So stop assuming you're her only hope. You're not. You never were. You were just a burning instant that shone brighter than the rest until you went out. And when you did, she just looked towards the next fire. 3. If you believe you own her, you'll kill yourself. Possession, that's the delusion. You take her hand. She sleeps in your bed, calls you baby, introduces you to her parents, and your head starts to lie to you. She's mine. She'd never leave. I've earned this. But what you don't see, what most men never do, is that the minute you begin to think she's yours, you cease being the man she fell in love with. Why? Because ownership gives rise to entitlement. And entitlement kills the very energy that generated the attraction in the first place. When you believe she's yours, you cease sharpening yourself. You cease leading. You cease observing. You cease listening. You assume. You expect. You get comfortable. And comfort is where masculinity dies. It's where polarity fades. It's where desire withers and routine begins. But she doesn't want to be owned. She wants to be chosen over and over again by a man who never stops evolving. The moment you treat her like a prize you already won, you stop earning her. And the moment you stop earning her, she starts looking elsewhere. And here's where it gets darker. When she departs, you'll feel betrayed. You'll spin. You'll be angry. Because in your head, she was yours. But she wasn't. She never was. She was just around for a while, a chapter, a season. And rather than being able to accept that reality like a Stoic, most men break down. They beg, they stalk, they threaten, they beg again. And in so doing, they annihilate whatever masculine energy they had left. Because the more you hang on, the more you bleed. And women don't pursue blood, they pursue power. You can only invite her into your frame, and she will remain only as long as that frame remains strong. That's the brutal truth. If your frame falls apart, if your values flex, if your confidence crumbles, she's gone. And if your sense of self was constructed on possessing her, you will fall too. But if your sense of self is constructed on being respected, on being more, you'll still stand. If you construct yourself intentionally on mastery, on truth, then her presence is a bonus, not a lifeline. And when she exits, you don't shatter. You grow, you build, you move forward, level-headed, unshaken, because the Stoic man knows she was never yours. It was only your turn, and now his time is well spent becoming even greater, not due to bitterness, but due to his refusal to be governed by illusion. The men who stand, the ones she can't shake, are not the clingy ones. They're the ones who don't cringe at goodbye. Now you see it. It was never about forever. It was about alignment, about energy, about the version of you she fell for. Not the idea of you never changing. She didn't change. She evolved. And you confused time for truth. You attempted to own her. She only wanted to feel something. You attempted to keep her. She was already half gone. And now you have two options. Hold on to the fantasy or become the man who never needs it again. Because when you let go, when you accept the fact that no woman is ever yours, you no longer fear loss. And when you no longer fear loss, you are the one thing no woman can resist, a man she can't control. If you've ever seen a woman wither away while you clung tighter, comment, "She was never mine." Well, let's see how many men woke up today at last.